Welcome back to Horse Racing Today. Just yours truly. Terry is off to a meeting today, so hopefully I have his best bet. Some little bit of input from Terry. He sent picks, but I didn't have time to run through the scratches to make sure that everything was on par for what we need. As always, we have some free picks today over at Guarantee Tip Sheet. There is a link in the description on YouTube. Kindly take advantage of that. Go on over there, and you'll see that the free picks today are, I forget what I set it up at. Free track today, Belterra Park over in Ohio, Ohio. If you've ever been to an Ohio State football game, you will hear them spell it probably about 1,000 times. When the show's over, I may or may not post the picks over here at horseracingtoday.net. Depends on the remainder of my schedule for today, but you will find here the HRT gear link no matter what. Come over to our shop, get yourself a Horse Racing Today See You in the Winner's Circle t-shirt. You can personalize it, so if you don't like that color white, you want to go with whatever color purple that is, you may do so. If you prefer a shade of gray, as some may, you can change it to that as well. Of course, as always, we have our smart sheets, and I promise you they'll be coming forth shortly. That's probably not a word, but we just made it one. You'll be able to get them for every single track. There is a description as well as the explanation on how to use them in the link on the description at YouTube, Horse Racing Radar TV. And of course, you see on the bottom there, scrolling below, all of our social sites. If you haven't done so already, kindly check in the comment section like our good friend Private Ross. He's got his picks for the day right there. Thank you, Mr. Ross. Don Johnson, as always, is checking in to say good morning. We appreciate that. Churchill race number 7. You got an extra pick, 30-1 from Private Ross for the bomb. And then, hello, Don. As we say hi again. If you tell us where you are, if you're watching on X, kindly subscribe to X if you haven't. Share our content so anybody else who's looking for horse racing information might be able to find us. 8 races today. There was, I think, 3 or 4 of them that were supposed to be on turf. They all got moved off to the turf. They're all in the dirt. They're all muddy. Race number 1 begins. I think it's a 1-mile race. Yes, you'll see 1 mile turn here. And then on the bottom of the screen there as well, you see the profile of a winner. 4 of the 9 horses have gone wire to wire so far. Only 4 horses in race number 1. It's really not a lot of data to kind of share here. You see they should stretch out. You got it. The 6 horse can lead, can also play the part of a co-pilot like the 1. The 2, that one has some flexibility. And the 4 is a closer who did run the top last race speed figure. 4 or 5 points better than everybody else. They all have shown that they can hit par, 78 for this level. So let's just get straight to the picks for race number 1 and share with you why I think someone's going to win. I'm going to put the 2 horse at the top of the ticket. Best impression, should make a good impression in the opener. On the lead, top total pace of 5 points in the 4 horse field. Yeah, that's over here, where we add together the early pace and the late pace. So I should have about a 1-length lead over everybody else, according to the pace numbers at the finish line. Next up for me is that 6 horse Rodeo Star coming off the bench. Its first up record, pretty good. Been pretty solid at Aqueduct, pretty solid at the distance as well. Foxy Cara, there's no other place to put this one than 3rd. It's the proper distance. This horse, all of the race internals last time are better in the beginning, to the middle, to the end in your pace improvement. That's what those arrows mean. But this one has run 6 times and has 4 thirds. So there's no other place to put this horse but 3rd. Hasn't finished 1st or 2nd. And then Brooklyn Dans, it did run that top last race speed figure, 4 points better than everybody else. Also posted a Z pattern, which scares me a little bit as my 4th of 4 picks. You see here, the early pace was 83. Then it dipped to 78 in the middle. And then 86. Second wind down the stretch for Brooklyn Dance. I know that we talk a lot about the Steve Fielder and betting horse racing contest. I would look that up if you haven't done so already on the YouTube channel, Horse Racing Radar TV, how to win handicapping contests. One of the rules that stuck out to me is in short races, take the longest shot on the board. It specifically said 5. Race number 2, let's talk about that one. Race number 2, that one is 6 furlongs. We have a trio of 6 furlong races. This one to claiming $17,500, $200 for winners of non-2. Only 1 of 10 have gone wire to wire so far. Stalkers do pretty good. Post positions 2 and 3 at discount. 4 through 7, that's the best place to be. And so far, nobody from 8 or out has won. We don't have to worry about that here. Our race shape, we got a couple of interesting things to look at here in terms of our smart sheets. For me, one of the first things I like to look at is how does this race take shape? You see here the 6 horse could be out on the lead by itself. Everybody else wants to be a pilot or co-pilot. So is the 6 going to get the lead? Yes, the 6 is likely to get the lead. Does the 6 have a pretty good early pace advantage? He does. 5 points equals 1 length. How about the comfort zone? Well, there's a 91% chance that today's race, when we take a look at the early going, should look like the 6's best performances as the 6 hit par. Yes, it has. But all of them have come within at least 1 point of getting 76. So they all got a good shot to do that today again. And then finally, looking at our other key data point, the 1, Handle on You, a 12-point last race speed figure advantage over everybody else. If you're new here, you know that Andrew Beyer in his book on speed figures, the godfather of it all, says a 3-point advantage is more than enough to merit your attention. But once again, we got a 5-horse field. Steven Fielder, take the one with the longest odds. I'm going to take the 6 horse that got to the front and stay there. That one is the Lone E potential with that early pace advantage. And you'll see this horse with its top C zone be very comfortable out there. Number 1, Handle on You, did run that top last race speed figure 12 points better than everybody else. Another horse with the Z pattern ran at this level last out and just missed. Bella Cherie, the 2 horse. That's your morning line favorite, which kind of scares me a little bit because David Aragona, who sets the lines over at the Naira tracks, is probably one of the best, if not the best, line maker in the country. And when he puts this steady performer at a nice price at the top, it makes me a little bit nervous. And then Ragtime Sizzle. This one's only raced 5 times, perhaps the most upside in the race relative to everyone else. Race 3 coming up. Race 1 is just a few minutes, so I can try to hustle my way through race 3 so that way we can talk about what goes on in race number 1. This is supposed to be on the outer turf, got moved to the regular 6 furlong race again. 1 out of 10, a little bit of a rail bonus, 2 and 3 at discount, 4 through 7 the best. Nobody from 8 and out. In race number 3, I want to look at the race shape again. You see here, everybody wants to press middle forward. So speed of the speed is usually the way to go when you see a lot that want speed, but 7 horse is really more of a pressure. So a small left arrow horse there. And left arrow meaning horses that are middle back, that have enough early speed to put them in contention. Does have that 5 point or 1 length early speed advantage, and most of the other speeds to its outside. So the 7, good chance to clear, especially with the scratches today, going to move way inside. At the end of the race, the 4 has the most late speed, a big edge. Another data point here, too, is that second race par ability, because this is a optional claiming race. But in this case, you do see a horse, the 7 horse, gratefully. Opportunity with second race improvement to go as high as 101 on the speed gun. That's a big number for our simulation favorite, as well as the top total pace, 2 lengths better than the rest of the field. And because of all that, the 7 horse indeed gratefully gets to the top of my ticket with that second race par ability that borders on stakes ability. Number 10, Hey Cookie, dominated in the last 2 starts and good chance to be a better horse in the second start after layoff. Cadena, the 12 horse. All of the race internals are better across the board. And as you see here, Cadena is the biggest class dropper, moving down 0.8 of a length, so almost a full second. And then finally, Sail Away. This one wasn't going to make my picks, but real quick, when you got these horses that are running on the turf, or when the races get moved off in their main track only entrance, the MTO, and in this case, the 13, you see it's raced 7 times, 2 wins, but look at this. Both of those wins coming in its 2 efforts on an off track. So maybe a horse for the wet course. Let's go back to race number. I have some bets too here. So race number 2, I have my pick for 1, 6, 7, 9, 10, 12, 13, 6, 3, 6, 7, 9, 11, 1 and 7, and a $5 exact key box, 6 in all. No bets in race number 1. And in race number 3, I also put together a 50-cent trifecta box, 7 to 10, 11, and 12. race number one. Let's see if race number one is off to the races in this terrific Terry-free Tuesday, which was my case. Now they're still kind of moseying around a little bit. So in the meantime, Don Johnson, what should people do to help the show, my friend? Hello, my good friend from England. Hopefully you paid attention to our show last week over at Ayr. We didn't have a lot of success in our 5 races, but the success that we had was a $175 $1 exacta. You can't beat that. Again, free picks, guaranteed tip sheet today, Belterra Park. Link in the description below. Kindly use that if you haven't done so already. To help the show, one of the great things you can do is subscribe. You see all of our social sites down there. Horse Race, the number 2 day, everywhere except YouTube. For some great, brilliant reason, I went with Horse Racing Radar TV and kept it because we had 100 subscribers. Boy, hindsight indeed is 2020. Not only at the horses, but with any other sort of social media decisions. But like us, share a comment, share our content, tell your friends about us, and let the whole world know about horse racing today. We would greatly, greatly appreciate that. So race 1 in the mud is off, and it is running. I don't suspect looking at that track you're going to see any improvement today at all, because it looks very gray there. See a lot of slop. And right now, one horse is off in race number 1. So then the 6 horse, and then that 4 horse in the trail position. Let's see where the track is best as they come around the turn to make their way home. The 1 horse continues to set the lead. The 2 horse is in the stalking position. The 6 horse going to have to go 3 wide through the turn, and then the 4 horse kind of way off in the back by itself, maybe 3 lengths off the pace. They make their way in to the turn to come on home. The 2 horses edged alongside the 1 horse who's carried most of the action early on. Then the 6 horse trying to make up some ground. The 4 horse looks like it's moving a little better than the 6 right now. So maybe it can make up enough ground to find its way into third, as the 6 seems to be not so enthralled with the mud kicking back up in his face. They're making their way down the stretch. The 1 horse continues to hold the lead. The 2 horses trying to rally, but can't seem to shift leads. So the 1 horse, Foxy Cara, sets the tone at the break, maintains the lead all the way around the track. So it's going to go 1, 2, and then 4 and 6. So 1, 2, 4, and 6. Interesting to note that the inside horse that got the speed, got to the front, stayed there. There really wasn't a whole lot of change all the way around the track. So wouldn't be shocked at all today to see that play out over and over and over again. Get to the front, get to the rail, and perhaps stay there as they make their way around the track. We'll see. Race number 4, next on our agenda. This one was supposed to be a 1.1 miles on the turf, but unfortunately off. So it's going to be 1 run, 1 mile on the track. Again, 4 out of 9 have gone wire to wire. And this is where the race will start back here. So it goes from a 2-turn race with a chute to a 1-turn race with a long backside. I mean, completely different strategically running styles. In race number 4, I like, again, with the smart sheets to look at a couple different data points. So, well, this being a maiden optional claiming for $75,000, that speed figure of 76, how many have hit it? None. You've had a couple in here, the 6, the 9, and the 11 who have come close to hitting it within 3 and 5 points. So when we see all no's and a maybe, I want to look over here real quick at the first timers. We got 1, the 2 horse. Ordinarily, I want to score around 2.5 or better, or at least some back bullet works. I don't see any of that. So I'm going to come over here next, and I'm going to look at the second race par ability. Aha, we're on to something now. We have the 6 horse and the 7 horse showing with typical second race improvement. Their speed figures might go as high as 86 or 83. And when you consider that 76 is the speed number that usually wins, that puts both of them well above that threshold. Absolutely horses that have to be considered in your selections. Otherwise, the 6 and the 11, they tried to close in their races to date. All of these horses have not finished within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. With the 2, the first crack at it today, I'm going to take a look at those second race probability types there, folks, as my probable picks over and over and over again. And in this case, that is the case. I'm going to go with the set. Hold on a second. This is race number 3 we're on, right? Did we do? Yes, race number 3. We did 1 and 2. Yes, race number 3. No, we did race number 3. So this is race number 4. Right, race number 4. Yes, indeed, race number 4. I'm mixing myself up. That's one of the good things about having a second person on the show is it helps me keep the pace. But now I have to kind of try to remember everything all by myself. All right, so in this case, the 6 horse, indeed, Mrs. Brown's Town. That is the horse with second race probability, the best of the bunch in second race probability. And you're looking good as the second best race probability at 83. So that's why those two get the top billings. The 3 horse, Lexington Pike, that's the other with second race probability. And in its debut, it did get pretty well bet, did have a funky trip. And then finally, of the horses with some experience, I'm going to go with the 9 horse, Supreme Good, just its 3rd career start, dropping from the maiden special weight ranks. And let's see if that's enough to get into my 50-cent trifecta box 3 with the 6, the 7, and the 9. To keep the train running on time, race number 5 will begin the second half of this 8-race card and the second pick 4. In this case, again, they're going to run 1 mile. You can see here, 1 turn, 1 mile. We've talked about 4 out of 9 going wire to wire. So speed could be an influencing factor. Again, a 5-horse field, the longest shot on the board. Well, it doesn't really look like there's a big extension here from the 7, which is a prohibitive favorite. Then everybody else kind of tucked in behind. Our race shape gives us 2 up on the front, 3 up in the back. That should favor horses that get to the lead. And primarily those 2 numbers look like the 5 or the 7, although the 2 horse with some similar pace numbers could keep those guys honest. The 1, the 2, and the 7 are dropping in class. So that 7 horse or the 5, most likely a pace setter. So let's go down here and see which of them is likely to get a better trip. That number does favor the 7. Also, top last race speed figure, 3 points better than everybody else. It is also our top total pace horse. In fact, if you look at the 7 and the 2, worst hand in poker, but perhaps the best hand today, there's about an 8-point gap down. So again, 5 points equals 1 length. So the 7 and the 2, a pretty distinct pace advantage against all the others in the field, although the 1 horse does have maybe the biggest in-race advantage with a 1.5 length late speed edge, also dropping in class. Let's see how that translates to picks in race number 5. I'm going to go ahead with that 7 horse, Ridgewood Runner. Put that guy at the top of the ticket because it's going to be out front with that top C zone. Going to be perfectly comfortable on an off track, 5 times out, 1 win, a couple of seconds, and a 3rd. Then I'm going to go with the biggest in-race advantage, Systemic Change. That guy will be rolling late. Biggest in-race edge, as we talked about a length and a half late speed, and probably won't be all that far off the lead. Number 2, Lost in Rome. Some of the most back class in the field did show some signs of life last time out. My good friend Tom taught us all about that. 5 ways better for the class dropper. Better early pace, better mid pace, better late pace, and match that up with better fractions. The only other horse to do that's the 7. 7 also with a very distinct par plus advantage. 409 times out of 1,000 when we did our simulations, it generated a speed figure of at least 90. So good chance that horse will get up and over par today. And then finally, the 5 horse, Nick, could be the longest shot in a 5-horse field. We've talked about that a few times already. But it is a yes horse that could be the pace setter. And with that being the case, you got to consider it. Shorter field, I'm going to go with the Rabbit and the Hare, the Speed and the Closer. At the top, I start off my pick 4, 1, 7, 1, 3, 5, 9, 1, 2, 6, 7 with the 2, 6, and 7. So what do you guys think? Am I handling this all right by myself? Let me know in the comment section. I'd greatly appreciate it. Race number 6. They're going to go back to 6 furlongs. And that's another one of those races that was supposed to be on the outer turf. Another maiden optional claiming race. Moved to the dirt. 6 furlongs, 1 out of 10, wire to wire. But again, the key number here, not so key, but still you want to look at it. 75 speed figure. Which ones have been able to come close to that? there's still a marker that we got to test. And so far, only the 3. The only yes. Everybody else is a no. You got a maybe with the 1, with the 9, who did show some better fractions. Whole ton of horses dropping in class here. Again, with only 1 yes, you got to take a look at the first-time starters. Voila. There's one with a 2.5 or better. So Zuby should merit some attention. Also over here, you got the 1 and the 7 with second race par ability. The 1 also garnering the top jockey trainer combination. So maybe the 1 with the second race par ability, strong jockey trainer combination, could challenge the only yes horse, the 3 that has a 7-point last race speed figure advantage. Although once again, a closer with the biggest in-race edge. Does look like the 8, Gigi's Cake, could be your pace setter. Also a pretty strong C-zone for a horse that didn't finish within 5 lengths of the winner last time out. So it may actually find being out on the lead to its advantage today. Lauren, yes, thank you. Appreciate that. Terry's best bet's coming up, my friend. Had to step away. Please leave the plays up at the end of the show. I will do so. Doing great, Rich. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate that. Hopefully the picks do pretty well. In any case, looking at the way all that shapes up, you got to consider second-time starters. You got to consider horses that have the first race in them with a chance at the 2.67. I went with the 3-horse Winrooski. That one has that top last race speed figure, the only yes horse, so you know it can get the job done. The only question we have about that one is, can it handle on dirt? So far, it's been a turf horse. Zuby, the 5-horse, is your first-time starter with a 2.67 out of 3-point scale. Got 1 yes, a couple of par abilities, a maybe, and the rest are no's. You got to put it in. Scorch, the 9-horse, is the maybe -1. Both races, the punters, as they say, for our good friend York, back that horse nicely. Should be fast out of the gates. This is going to be the 3rd career start. Something I've noticed is horses come out of in their debut, they do what they do. A lot of times the second race is improvement. If the second race is close to the first race, which the 9 is, a little bit dull effort, sometimes that 3rd race is a boom. And if that's a boom, look out for the 9. And then finally, Never Heated does have that top jockey trainer combination over there in its debut. And I really like this when I'm looking at horses making their second start. Look, that horse went out, boom, and then faded at the end. Well, I expect more stamina in the second race of its career. And it does have a couple of workouts in there getting ready for today. So the horse should have more stamina and be able to hold that speed a little bit longer today. I have a 50-cent trifecta box, 1 with the 359, and I think the 3 as the yes horse merits consideration as a key in an exacta box for $2 because I had $12 left. So I went 3 over the 159 out of our Benny and the Bets budget. Tavam, you talked about Terry's best bet. I did not have a Zuby has extra crypto codes. All right, good. Thanks. Appreciate the crypto codes whenever they come to my benefit. I like them then, and I'm not the big when your crypto codes back me up. I'm a huge fan, Private Ross. When they don't back me up, I'm not such a big fan. I'm a fair weather fan, I guess, is what you would say. So race number 7, a little bit of a different distance today. It's 1 mile and 1/8. They've only run 2 races so far. The winner, one of the winners was the pilot, so went wire to wire, and the other winner was a co-pilot. Speed, all of the winners were on the outside, 4 and out. So I would say speed being more so prevalent, at least a little better read than what you're going to get on the post positions with only 2 races, since you had a pilot and a co-pilot. And if you're looking at the pilot, you don't have to look any farther than the 2. 46% chance, according to our analysis, that one will be on the lead, where being forward makes a big difference. It is a yes horse, 6-5, so a little bit of an underlay or overlay, if you will. The 1 also showing perhaps an opportunity to get a few more better odds than you should. This race pretty well split, 3 in the middle, 4 in the back, although the 4 is a PC type. So if they go too slow, he could join the front runners. If they go too fast, he can be patient and perhaps be a part of the latecomers. The 7 horse, by far the best C-zone. That horse could close and do so against the pace that sets up really nicely for it. Everybody's been pretty close to par, within 3 or 4 points. Otherwise, yes, everybody's got a great chance to do it again today. Although the 1 and the 2, look at that 2, 707 out of 1,000 simulations. That horse managed to put out a speed figure of at least, we got to go over here, 92. That's borderline stakes material. So Terry's best bet is this race is the 2, Certified Lover Boy. Maybe that speaks for his youth. I don't know. I also have the 2. Well, he put $20 to win on it. And then $10 exacta box 2 with the 6. Mr. Papa Giorgio. $10 exacta box 2 over to 167. And the $5 exacta box 126. I'm going to put the 2 on the top of my ticket as well. So I'm ready to cough here. But Certified Lover Boy is your pace setter. A little bit of a tickle back there from talking too much. In the money, 8 out of 10 on an off track. So you know the kickback won't bother that one at all. Strapped. Something every young man wants to be, but they better hit the gym. It is the biggest class dropper in the field and does have some okay works getting set for today. Then I have the Greek horse, Mr. Papa Giorgio. Or could it be Italian maybe? I don't know. It is a horse for the Aqueduct course. In the money, 6 out of 7 races, and a Barry Meadows alpha angle coming into play. 4 consecutive speed figure increases means this horse has at least a 15% chance to win today. And then finally, number 7, Whittington Park. This is another horse for the course with by far the best C-zone. Did show some better early pace, some better fractions last time out. Again, I like that. You see that over here with the 3-horse too, Winstock. But this horse has 5 wins in 14 races at Aqueduct. Ran at 15 times any otherwhere and only won twice. How about that? No bets for me. The finale for today, again, tomorrow is 4 and Friday. Thomas and I are going to do, oh my God, what are Thomas and I going to do? I forget the name of the track. Let me look it up real quickly, folks. In the meantime, while I look it up, remember that there are some free picks at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. We're going to do Ripon, R-I-P-O-N. So make sure you tune in for 4 and Friday. We'll start at 1 o'clock tomorrow for Ripon. We always get some good long shots there. Nice prices. I love the international racing because you do tend to have a little bit better opportunities to cash some big tickets. It's not so much get to the front and stay to the front kind of racing that we have in the U.S., though I love both of it, right? Again, subscribe, follow, like. You know all that. You hear everybody on the social media sites, the YouTube and the shorts and everything else. You all know the routine. Kindly, only 1 out of 10 do it, though. So pick up your mouse, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, and share our content. Get those free Belterra picks over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Link in the description on YouTube. Use that. Link in the description for YouTube on our smart sheets, an explanation how to use them. Become familiar with them. They will be mass produced at every North American track very soon. I promise you. We'll let you know more about that. Head on over to horseracingtoday.net. Hit that HRT gear button. Get yourself a See You in the Winner Circle, or in the description on YouTube, there is a tip jar. I would greatly appreciate a cup of Mountain Dew. It's my coffee, my caffeine in the morning. All right, the finale for today, race number 8, another one of those races that was supposed to be on the turf. That's not. Instead, it is 1 mile. So they're going to start here, going to come around that track. 1 mile turns act like speed races. 4 out of 9 indeed have taken those races from the beginning to the end on the first call. And we do have plenty of speed in this race. So a lot of horses are going to get up and get after it. Again, another one of those races where it is a maiden race. 73 being the speed figure number. Again, the switch to turf, the dirt could make a difference, but we still need a marker to measure ourselves against. And of the horses that can do it, almost all of them that are in the race, also the 10 horse unfortunately scratched out. So we need not worry about that one. Didn't get a chance to correct that. The 2 horse should be on the lead. 2 horse is your simulation favorite. Not necessarily the best C-zone. Look at that 3 horse. That's going to be in a great shape. Lady Delea, although 30-1 morning line versus 17-1 odds, though you are getting a yes horse that showed some better pace. It's dropping a full length in class. Did not make our top 4 sim odds. Just on the outside looking in, the 6 horse with the biggest late speed advantage, biggest in-race advantage, about a 1.5 lengths. I went ahead and did in race number 8, the 6 horse off script as my top selection. Reason being, 5 of our 6 races would be good enough. Does have a solid workout between races. Then I'm going to go with Hello Beauty. It's what I call a left arrow horse. That's something we created here. It is a closer, but as you see up here, that has that early speed. So a closer that's going to go forward. Those horses do exceptionally well, and it is our major simulation favorite at 3-2 odds. So likely to get yourself a good value on the 2 Hello Beauty. The 7 horse, Charmeuse, top rated first time starter. I know there's a lot of yeses in here anyway, but it does have, although it doesn't show up in here as a back bullet, you come down here on the 7 horse. And I had this theory, and I know when Charles was on, he would argue with me about this, but I think it worked out well for me. But you see here, it's got 48. So my number here is 4 times 12, being 48. So anything under 48 gets the check mark in our smart sheets. Right here, it's exactly 48. Yeah, if the timer was off by a thumb, it could have been 47 and 9. So that is a back bullet work. That horse has some ability to run on the dirt. Why not at 15-1 for a first-time starter? And then after that, I have the 8 horse, the other first-time starter. Okay, works. They paid a pretty good price for this horse, but I think they want this one to be on turf. But the fact that they left it in, a Clement horse that, obviously is meant to be on the grass, that they left it in a muddy track, a lot of people feel like there's a close correlation between mud and turf, tells me what I need to know, especially with Flavien Prat riding today, one of the top jocks out there. Here are the full picks for today. Race number 1 was won by the 1. I guess that means race number 2 will be won by the 2. I always like to try to find those sort of cryptic codes. How are you? Best bets in race number 7, my friend. Real quick. Race number 7, the 2 horse for Terry. Certified Lover Boy. How about that? And then for the picks for today, race 1 is in the books. Race number 2, I have a pick 4, 1, 6, 7, 9, 10, 12, 13, 6, 3, 6, 7, 9, 11. 1, 7, that's a $50 ticket. That's the maximum that we can apply. $5 exacta key box, 6 with all in race number 2. Race number 3, 50-cent trifecta box 7 with the 10, 12, and 13. Race number 4, 6, 7, 3, 9 trifecta box. Race 5, the late pick 4, the 1 and the 7 with the 1, 3, 5, 9 with the 1, 2, 6, 7 with the 2, 6, and 7. Race 6, a 50-cent trifecta box, a $2 exacta key box. Terry's best bet in race number 7. And then in race number 8, another 50-cent trifecta box. All right, folks. Well, that wraps it up for this solo Terrific Terry Thursday. I hope you enjoyed it, that you all have a blessed day. No matter what you're trying to do for the rest of this day, make sure, if you haven't done already, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, follow us here at Horse Racing Today. We would greatly appreciate it. I could promise you, cross my heart, as long as I'm alive, we're going to have a tremendous amount of great new information to bring out, hopefully before the year ends, but in full by the kickoff of 2026. It's going to be nothing like anything you've seen in horse racing anywhere else, at least in my viewpoint. I hope I'm correct about that. All right, folks, enjoy the rest of your Terrific Terry Thursday. And no matter what you're doing, I hope that you have God's grace, God's favor, and every single thing that you do, unfortunately, Terry's not here, ends up in the winner's circle. Make it a fantastic Thursday.